The Razer Viper V3 Pro is still one of the easiest gaming mice to recommend to competitive FPS players, but there's one problem. At around $120, you're paying premium money for a mouse that looks almost painfully simple. No RGB, no extra buttons, no dramatic design. So what are you actually paying for? Mostly three things: shape, weight, and consistency. At around 54 grams, the Viper V3 Pro is light enough that quick flicks and repeated corrections feel effortless without making the mouse feel hollow or disposable. But the number alone isn't the important part. The real advantage is how the weight works with the shape. The body is slightly taller and more supportive than older Viper designs, giving your palm more contact without turning it into a full ergonomic mouse. That makes it particularly well suited to claw grip, relaxed claw, and larger hands. If you mainly play Valorant, Counter-Strike, Fortnite, or Apex, this is exactly the kind of shape that lets you move quickly while still feeling controlled. And the performance underneath it is still extremely strong. You get Razer's Focus Pro 35K Gen 2 sensor, optical main switches, and wireless polling up to 8,000 Hz. Independent testing has consistently shown extremely low sensor and click latency. But don't buy this mouse because it says 35K DPI on the box, and don't assume 8K polling will suddenly make you better. Those specifications matter far less than the fact that tracking, clicks, and wireless performance are consistently fast enough that the mouse itself is unlikely to become your limitation. That's the Viper V3 Pro's real strength. It gets out of the way. There is one trade-off with 8K polling though: battery life. Razer rates the mouse for up to around 95 hours at 1000 Hz. At 8K, that figure drops dramatically to around 17 hours. So unless you have a high refresh rate setup and genuinely care about squeezing out tiny latency improvements, 1K or 2K polling will make much more sense for everyday use. And this is where the Viper V3 Pro becomes easier to understand. It isn't really trying to win with features. It's trying to remove excuses. The clicks are fast, the sensor is excellent, the wireless connection is excellent, the weight is competitive, and the shape works extremely well for the kind of player it was designed around. But that doesn't mean everyone should buy it. If you have very small hands, the shape may feel larger than you want. If you prefer a strongly ergonomic mouse, this isn't it. And if you mostly play casual games, the premium sensor and high polling support probably won't change your experience enough to justify spending this much. There's also the long-term ownership question. The optical main switches remove one traditional mechanical wear point, but the scroll wheel still uses a mechanical encoder. That doesn't mean there's a proven widespread scroll wheel problem. It simply means long-term durability still depends on more than the optical switches Razer advertises. So the verdict is pretty simple. At around $120, the Viper V3 Pro still makes sense for competitive players who care about shape, low weight, and extremely reliable wireless performance. If you find it closer to $100, it becomes an especially strong buy. But if you're paying premium money for features you'll never notice, there are cheaper mice that will make far more sense. Buy the Viper V3 Pro because you want a competitive mouse that disappears under your hand, not because the spec sheet says 35K DPI and 8K polling.